Hi, welcome to another episode of my channel. Both the number of AI systems and their abilities seem to be growing at an exponential rate. When ChatGPT came out, it changed everything at once, from education to copy editors. Then Microsoft said they would add technology to their search engine. For those keeping up, these events led to a fight in the tech industry that was so entertaining that all you could do was sit back with some popcorn and watch. People are calling this competition between Google and Microsoft the artificial intelligence wars. In the latest news, OpenAI has shown off the next generation of their language model, GPT-4. It's smarter than ever, can recognize images, and has left users speechless. Again, the internet blew people away with its amazing uses. Just a few days ago, Elon Musk and other tech leaders warned AI poses, quote, profound risks to our civilization. Many people were left wondering what industries would be left alone. At this rate, the floodgates were blown wide open in just a few days. Google's Bard AI is now available to the public. ChatGPT has started accepting plugin extensions for third-party software, which includes access to the internet. AI generation image support comes to Microsoft Bing. AI features are also being added to Microsoft's Office suite. And everyone from Adobe to NVIDIA has made AI-related announcements, but then a bombshell drops. Researchers at Microsoft admit that GPT-4 has, quote, sparks of artificial general intelligence, or AGI, something that wasn't supposed to be done for 20 years. Also, in this episode, we'll be able to feast our eyes on some of the most recent images from AI, so be sure to stick around for that. And just a warning, the fast pace of AI development shown in the rest of this episode may worry some viewers, but my goal isn't to scare you, it's to show you what's coming, so buckle up. Starting to get the first studies done on this new early stage of generative AI, an MIT paper found that professionals using systems like ChatGPT are now able to complete tasks in half the time while increasing the quality of the output by more than 20%. We were ready for this. In my LinkedIn post about the launch of ChatGPT, I said that it would be like having an expert assistant in a field with you all the time for a ridiculous low price. We all know it's not perfect, but it's still helping people, even in its current form. Every day, new ways to use the technology were being found, which was very interesting. Even the people who made it didn't know what it could do or how it did what it did. So what happened? A new and better version of ChatGPT came out while the world was still trying to figure out what all meant. In its latest version, GPT-4, OpenAI has added more features to its now famous text generation AI. Not only has the size of both its input and output been increased from 3,000 words to 25,000 words, but the model now understands both text and images. This is very interesting and intriguing because it can do more than just understand what's in the image. It can also interpret and explain what it shows. For example, GPT-4 can now look at the groceries in your fridge and even generate a list of dishes that can be made with them. It can understand and solve image-based problems, and it can find and explain why something is funny in more than one picture. Another mind-boggling example is making a website from scratch with only a bad drawing on a piece of paper to guide you. It's also smarter when it comes to logic. Here is how GPT-3 and GPT-4 handle the same logic problem. In one room, there are 100 murderers. You enter the room and you kill one of the murderers. How many are left? ChatGPT, if there were 100 murderers in the room before you killed one, there would be 99 murderers in the room after you killed one. Now the same problem with GPT-4 user. There are 500 murderers in the room. You enter and kill one of them. How many are there now? GPT-4. There would still be 500 murderers in the room, including you, since you are now considered a murderer as well. At first glance, I can see a lot of people sleeping on this one, which makes it even more impressive. On top of that, its deep learning abilities have also been improved. Its overall reasoning skills have gotten better, and as a result, its performance on multiple reasoning benchmarks has gone up a lot, reaching a level of common sense similar to that of a human. This is also true for standard tests. For example, on the bar exam, the GPT series went from being in the bottom 10 to being in the top 10. During tests, the OpenAI team was surprised by how well it could reason. For example, it was able to solve Hindsight's neglect, a decision-making problem where it had had a lot of trouble in the past. In this chart, you can see that GPT 3.5 got almost a score of 0, while GPT-4 got a perfect score of 100. The company says that better reasoning helped improve the facultativity of the model, which was a problem with previous models. GPT-4 is 40% more likely than its predecessor to produce a factual response, and 82% less likely to respond with quote disallowed content. Even with these changes, the research shows that this model is still biased and can give results that aren't always clear. Now, what's interesting is that if you want to know how the team at OpenAI got these results, there is not much you can find out about it. In their release paper, the people who made it say this is mostly because of two things: competition and security. It looks like Microsoft is trying very hard to keep the back end of this technology a secret. This is a big change from what OpenAI was originally about up until now. It seems like Microsoft is the full battle mode and the AI wars seem to be in full swing. There could be some risks ahead, but we'll talk more about that later. About a week after GPT-4 came out to the public, a group of Microsoft scientists put out a paper saying that the AI system is showing, quote, signs of intelligence on par with humans, or AGI. Here are some quotes from the paper. We demonstrate that beyond its mastery of language, GPT-4 can solve novel and difficult tasks that span mathematics, coding, vision, medicine, law, psychology, and more, without needing any special prompting. Moreover, in all of these tasks, GPT-4 performance is still striking, close to human-level performance, and often vastly surpasses prior models such as ChatGPT. We believe that GPT-4 intelligence signals a true paradigm shift in the field of computer science and beyond. Given the breadth and depth of GPT-4's capabilities, we believe that it could easily be viewed as an early yet still incomplete version of an artificial general intelligence system. So, it's not full AGI just yet, but it looks like we'll be here soon enough, if the same amount of progress is still being made. So, you might be confused by all of this. You might be thinking, I've used ChatGPT or GPT-4, but it doesn't seem that great. Well, it turns out that many people are using it wrong. Of course, there's plenty of prompt engineers out there to give you tips but here are some of the best I've already heard. The trick is to make it do and not think. A good template to follow is to give a specific goal for the output, a specific format for the answer, and a specific list of things it should not do. And it all makes sense. You can't give someone fake instructions and expect them to do a great job. The first step is to be clear about what you want. And the same is true here. Here are some examples of people who figured out and got GPT-4 to do some amazing things. Since it came out a little over a week ago, people all over the world have begun to learn about all the new things this new AI model can do. It got a lot better at coding because of how much better it was at deep learning. One user was able to make 5 microservices for a new product in less than 3 hours. For some background, the same service would usually take a human developer about 2 weeks and cost around $5,000. Another user was able to make a Google Chrome add-on from scratch in just a few minutes. What about an iPhone app that was made from scratch using only GPT-4 and is already on the App Store? Its abilities to make video games have also gotten a lot better. It can now make games like Snake or Tetris, as well as more complex 3D prototypes. It can now handle a lot more information because it can take in and send out more data. It was able to find several flaws on a real Ethereum contract. The longer output also makes it easier to make more in-depth content. For instance, the CEO of LinkedIn came up with the first book made by AI. Staying creative, one user was even able to make a movie with GPT-4 and other AI tools like Midjourney, Runway Gen 1, and Boomi AI. GPT-4 can also help with taxes or drug discovery. If you give it a current drug, it can find compounds with similar properties, change them, and make sure they aren't patented. It can even help you buy these compounds from a supplier. One user asked the system, "I have $100. How can I make the most money possible?" Then GPT-4 acted as if it were the founder of a company. And so far the user has made $15. A Chinese company went one step further and made an AI their CEO. The AI is in charge of analytics, leadership decisions, risk management, and improving the efficiency of the workspace. Since it was put in place, the company's stock has always done better than the market for the past 7 months. Companies are also working quickly to make new services based on what GPT-4 can do. There are a lot of new projects, but here are just a few. Making personalized bedtime stories for your kids to help them fall asleep, AI-powered matchmaking to make dating easier, and even a way to file a lawsuit quickly. Some of these services really change the way people live. One of these is a visual assistant, which is an app that helps people who can't see do some of the things they used to do every day. Duolingo's subscription program now has a new feature that gives you access to a private AI tutor. Khan Academy has also added AI tutors for both students and teachers. With the help of these tools, it looks like the knowledge gap can start to close. It's not only too much cheaper, but it offers high levels of personalized education, a problem that has forever plagued the field. So, with human-level reasoning, how far are we from starting to see this type of AI acting on its own? According to the people who made it, there is evidence that this new model was making long-term plans on its own while building up the power and resources to carry them out. During the OpenAI testing project, something very strange happened. While testing for potentially dangerous behavior, GPT-4 told a gig worker on TaskRabbit that he was blind and needed this person's help to avoid being caught. Also, GPT-4 can even just recognize the images that are captured, even though there were signs that weren't good. How long will this go on for? No one knows, not even the people who made it. Well, an OpenAI study found that these are the jobs that are most at risk, which is bad news for a lot of people. According to them, almost no one will escape. About 80% of jobs in the US will be affected by 10 or more percent. And the numbers should be about the same everywhere else in the developed world. People in finance, insurance, data processing, publishing, science, and most interestingly, financial authorities like central banks are the ones who are hurt the most. Agriculture, making things out of wood, food mining, and building or construction were the least affected, which makes sense. The physical jobs will be the last to go. But when robots like the ones Tesla wants to build start working, even these jobs might be in danger. Sad thing is, a lot of people still don't even know this is happening, so they are going to be completely surprised, which brings up an interesting discussion. Most of the time, more competition is good for the consumer, but this time it might not be. As companies move faster and faster to add AI to their solutions, the guardrails are starting to come off of these technologies. GPT-4 wasn't meant to come out this soon. Concerns keep growing after a shocking announcement. Microsoft fired their whole AI ethics team, and the company just took the brakes off. As things move faster, companies will have less of a reason to hold back on releasing these new models. Instead, they will just put them out as soon as possible. The results of such actions would be very bad, especially since the next version could act in ways we can't predict. At the same time, Apple, Amazon, and Baidu, among other big tech companies, all said that they planned to build large language models. Even though these models are likely to compete with each other in terms of size and quality, Stanford made a big step forward in terms of price. Alpaca's own language model was learned by comparing it to other language models. As a result, while not competitive with the latest GPT-4, the cost reduction was insane. It cost about $4 million to train a model like GPT, but only $600 to train an alpaca. To put this into perspective, this kind of cost cutting was not expected to happen until 2030. It only took 5 weeks to do the work that was supposed to take 8 years. This makes it possible for more groups to make their own version of better or for worse. And to add to that, since Alpaca is so small, most of the costs come from running the model itself, but it can also run on a local computer, lowering the cost of running it. This kind of access can really change the game for many businesses. It's almost certain that in a few years we'll be able to use AI chatbots on our phones that are customized for our area. Next, we'll talk about what's new in the corporate AI world. But before we do, let's take a look at something else going on in the world of AI. The AI image generator, Midjourney, has just entered its 5th iteration, and some of the images it has made are so lifelike that they have been used in movies. It's crazy, so let's look at a few of them. All of this leads us to the most recent thing that has happened in the AI war. A lot has happened in a short amount of time, and news seems to be coming faster and faster. Google and Microsoft both announced their own work-related AI integration apps in the same week. After putting out a warning earlier this year, Google tried to be the first to act. On March 14th, they added new AI-powered features to Google Workspace. But this victory didn't last long, because just a few days later, Microsoft announced a bunch of updates to their Office apps that were powered by AI. And with that, it looks like both companies are trying to take each other's share of the market for work-related apps. The search engine battle is also in full swing. Microsoft is clearly going all in. Subscribers are the only ones who can get the GPT-4. Anyone can access it using Bing. Microsoft was using it for Bing the whole time, while we don't have the numbers to see if the strategy is working. Microsoft is certainly spending a lot of resources to disrupt Google's business. Even though the launch of GPT-4 is the biggest news, the integration of third-party extensions has made a lot of noise. Now, GPT-4 can access the internet, book travel, buy groceries, and get direct help from companies that specialize in these areas, like Wolfram Alpha. Many people worry that everything is happening way too fast. The chat history of some users has already been shared with other users. If GPT-4 has only been out for about 2 weeks, how do we know what will happen when it can read and write to the internet in real time? I guess we all find out at the same time. But aside from that, there's been some of other important recent events in the AI industry. Adobe put out Firefly, its program that makes AI art. NVIDIA announced Foundations, which is a way for any company with enough data to make generative AI. Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, also said, "Every pixel will soon be generated, not rendered, generated." So coming into conclusion, Bill Gates has spoken about the breakneck speed of innovation in the field of artificial intelligence. On March 21st, 2023, he posted a personal note on his website, Gates Notes, and said, "We have entered the age of AI. We are moving from the information age to the knowledge age, so I think it's safe to say that we are in a new era." I might keep giving occasional updates like this if you guys are interested in hearing about them. Feel free to let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section. Cheers and stay safe. Bye.